Hi guys, welcome back. It's that time again, England selection. This time it's Wales versus England in round 3, and Wales-England is always massive. I think you ignore the fact a bit that Wales have been poor so far. Surely they're going to bring it in round 3 here. England certainly improved against Italy, but now need to prove it again, this time away from home. And it's going to be a really fierce game, I am sure. And let's just assume that the strike's not going to go ahead and the game's going to be absolutely fine. Let's live in ignorance. I think that's the best way to go so far. I'm only going to select from the squad players announced at the weekend for England, and they've got a number of returning players, so they do have some more options. But at Loosehead, they don't really have much option. I'll put up on the side there the starting front row and the replacements. Ellis Genji is miles ahead of absolutely everyone else, maybe until Rapava Ruskin comes in. I don't see much point having Makavanapola on the bench for impact, so let's have Bevan Rod and see what he can do. At hooker, I think Jamie George is the call again. He was solid in the set piece last week. I don't think you're going to see fireworks around the pitch like other hookers we see in the world, but I think he's the best option at the moment, with young Jack Walker once again coming off the bench. Sinclair, I think he's been improving. Again, last week I think he improved as well, so I think let's go with Sinclair again. And on the bench, well, if Stewart is fit, let's have Stewart. If not, we go Cole again. The second row, Itoje and Chesham had a really good outing last week. Chesham, 2 good outings. So, another good showing for these two, and it could well be the World Cup pairing. We don't have a huge amount of second rows anyway, but that was good news with Chesham coming through. Now, I think the big call is in the back row here. Ludlam's been playing absolutely fantastically well, and I think he still has to certainly at least be in the squad. Courtney Laws is back available, although hasn't played that much. But having said that, I'm going to put a guy straight in there who's only just come back and played one game and looked great, to be fair. Tom Curry, I'm putting him back in at 6, where he has played a lot for England when it was Curry and Underhill, 6 and 7. This time I'm going to go Curry and Willis, and I think that could work really, really well. Ludlam, I think he's been playing so well, he continues to start, this time at number 8. Tough on Don Brandt, shouldn't be discarded, but he's had one poor game and one better game, but I don't think he's nailed on. So let's give Ludlam a go, and it's not playing him out of position. He does play 8 for his club quite a lot as well. So it's Curry, Willis, Ludlam for me. And then on the bench, we've got Laws, who covers second row and 6, and then Earl covering 7 and 8 as well, I would say. So that's the way I'm going in the back row. Let me know what you would go with, because there's plenty of permutations. Then on to an area I'm not quite so confident at, in the half-backs. Yep, I've stuck with Van Poortvliet and Farrell. I think Van Poortvliet has been getting better with game time, so let's keep that trend going. And we saw what can happen when you have a genuine impact 9 off the bench, so Mitchell's there again. At fly half, Farrell I think goes again for this match. I think for Wales away, I don't think you fiddle again there. He went okay last time, although I'm not massively happy with this selection. I don't think you put Smith in to this intense game physically. He sometimes gets a bit bullied around. George Ford's only just returned, although if he does get some games under his belt, I think he would have been a genuine contender to start here. So 10 still up in the air, but for this game, I think Farrell's the most sensible way to go. Let me know what you would do. Into the centres, I think you have to stay with Lawrence and Slade, who played so well together and look like they've got really good balance. You could certainly play Marchant at 13 as well, but I think you stick with the combination. In fact, stick with the whole midfield there. I think that makes sense to have a bit of continuity, because I am changing it up in the back 3. Ollie Hassel-Collins, unfortunately, is out injured, I believe. So that solves the conundrum of, do you give him another go, because he hasn't really got the ball in his hands. But he's not in, so let's get Arundel straight in. I think that's a no-brainer. His pace power, his try-scoring potential ability is the way to go on one wing. And on the other, I'm changing it up. Malins has been really good, but I think he's the perfect replacement on the bench. So I'm going to go for Tommy Freeman. Murley was considered as well, I think, for his pace, but Freeman looks great at club level, hasn't quite done it at England level. Let's give him another go on the wing. Yep, he's a big guy. He's got some pace on him, not as quick as Arundel, but he's got that kicking game and the high ball game. And then if you have Stewart at fullback, I think it's a good mix between the 3 of them. Stewart's been going pretty steady. We know he's got a few weaknesses as well, but if you put a bit more speed around him with Arundel, I think he looks a bit better, although we want to see Stewart inject himself in the attack a bit more because he didn't do that so much last game. And on the bench, I've pretty much mentioned everyone. Walker, Rod, Stewart if fit, if not Coles. Laws and Earl, I really like that as a replacement, Laws and Earl. Mitchell, good impact. Then I'm a little bit umming and erring. You could play Malins as your replacement 10 as well, but he doesn't really play there much for club, but you could do that. So I think you stick with Smith on the bench. As the game loosens up, he could be good, but just don't expect him to make any big tackles. If George Ford had more game time, I'd probably see him more of a starter, to be honest, although you could have had him on the bench or could have him on the bench here. So not 100% sure on my 10s there. Let me know what you would do. But I think Malins on the bench is a good option as well. If Freeman wasn't starting, I think Freeman on the bench and maybe even Marchant, but I'm going to go with Malins. Anyway, that's my 23 to take on Wales. I think it is getting better every game. The England team, the lineup, I think this lineup is probably the best so far if they went with something like this. What would you go with? Pop it all below in the comments, and I'll catch you next time.